for staying tuned and coming back with us on Newsmaker Live with Laura. This is our final episode for the year, and we're discussing the shows that we enjoyed, the ones that we didn't, what were our highs and our lows, what we would like to see for the new year. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Yeah. I'll be only saying one remark. I disagree with the last caller.
Tell me why.
Because she can't blame the Prime Minister for all them kind of things, Gasson. Because it's not the Prime Minister that have to look. The Prime Minister and the police, you know. You understand? So,
You mean in terms, in terms of the crime?
yeah, she can't blame the Prime Minister for the crime that's going on. I not for them politics shit, not me, you know, but like, at least, that is, I was watching a show and I kind of understand what you're saying.
But sir, let's wrap. But you do recognize that the police can only do so much with limited resources, and the police are the police. There's a minister responsible for the police.
Yeah.
That minister, I don't know if you'll agree with me. Right, but if he's not doing his job, he has a boss. His boss is the Prime Minister. So you see how when we work our way back, the buck ending up at the desk of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is supposed to oversee all of the ministries, despite the fact that there are ministers responsible for them.
But even though sometimes you tell your workers do something and they can't do it, they will not do it.
And so what do? Do you continue paying them a salary?
You fire them.
Thank
and
you.
you get another.
Thank you.
You get better.
So ultimately, the Prime Minister is the one responsible for hiring and firing.
Okay,
and if the minister is not doing his job to assist the police force, then hey, the Prime Minister indirectly is ultimately responsible.
He's the boss.
He's the boss.
Okay, well, tell him high on fire.
Right, there you go.
Anyway, good night.
Thank you so much.
Evening.
Thank you for calling, and you have a wonderful Christmas season. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we try not to get too heavy into everything, but hey, ultimately, think about it. It's like a business, right? If you have a business and you're hiring and firing people, you've hired a manager. We have another call. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air. Kill the cat.
Laura, the cat is killed.
Oh, thank you.
You're looking very Christmassy, Miss Shafir.
Yes, I'm a Christmas baby. Thank you.
And it's very interesting. If you look at your monitor, you'll see that you have something on your head. It looks like, at the right angle, it looks like you have little balls in your head, you know.
Oh!
Right, look at it.
I see it.
Very nice, very nice. It looks like a hair decoration.
Oh, my gosh.
I think Junior did that deliberately.
Oh, my word.
And what's next to you? Food or what? Is that food on next to you, the blue stuff?
Oh, no. It's just part of the decor.
Decorations?
Yes, just decorations, yes.
Laura, I got to be serious because there's nothing to be really...
joyous about.
Yeah, you know, joyous Christmas.
Tell me about it.
Somebody called a while ago, obviously frustrated, and said to you that older people who had received their pensions or something were filling in jobs, and you agreed with that person because you thought that person was denying young people a position?
I thought that ultimately it would make sense if you have natural attrition, people are retiring, that the resources should be pumped into the younger people so that they can take over the jobs of the older people as they retire. But I'm saying that...
But you know that's not reality. The reason that person is... Two things happening there. That pensioner obviously can't make out on the pension.
No, I disagree, because I happen to know that there are...
You mean pensioners just love work?
No, I happen to know that there are people who are... They're pensioned, they're making a decent salary, they're making a decent pension, and they're working voluntarily, not because they want to or they need to, but because, hey...
Yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think people will just sick of work.
Oh, yeah.
And if that is true, then good for St. Lucia to have people who love work so much. Great. But you know, I wish we had people who said, "Listen,
There
we love
are,
to work
there
that
are,
much."
there are, there
Well,
are.
let's move
Well,
on.
well, yeah, we're not
That's
going to
the
that.
big
We
point.
won't go into that. Yes.
That's not the big point.
Right.
The big point is that people hire these older people, what we call the older people, because the older people have the skills. Now, there's the cliche about if you don't give this person a chance, how are they going to get experience and whatnot?
Right.
That is a situation that's perpetuated, and it's misleading in every way. In normal countries, have situations where people learn skills either in the classroom, or there are places where they can go and learn, take up, job training, or there are places where they can serve as, how you call those people who come in just a few hours a day. What do you call them? I forget now. My mind is a little tired. Eh?
Apprentices?
Well, kind of, not apprentice. Like you come from a course and you come and work at a newspaper for a while. Come on.
Interns.
Interns. Exactly. My mind is a little bit tired from writing all day.
Okay.
And but it's nice to have those interns, and I know a number of people who have them, and we do quite often. But the interns know nothing, Laura, and businesses, especially in these very hard times, how to pay the mortgage.
But shouldn't that have been the role of NICE? Is it NICE? Wasn't NICE supposed to be a program that is to help to help with that situation where you?
Well, that's neither here nor there. Even if that's neither here nor there, it's still.
But we need to start somewhere, Rick. We need to start somewhere.
Whatever NICE is for, the lady is still talking about those thousands of young people who are jobless.
I don't think she's meaning, okay, so you have the director of, say, for instance, the DPP retires, and then you're just going to take somebody who's green,
But I wasn't talking about the public service. I was talking about private sector, because the public service is overloaded anyway. So I'm talking about the reason why private sector people, employers, tend to go for the older person as opposed to the kid leaving school. It's because the kid really knows nothing. I mean, I don't say that blaming the kid.
But isn't that an indictment on the business places, though, Rick?
On the business place?
Yeah, because listen, this person is going off on retirement. You have young people. I remember. Listen, I remember.
You got me wrong, Laura. Please don't pursue it. You got me wrong.
Explain yourself.
I am not talking about somebody who's going on retirement, and you know this. I am talking about a pensioner, let's say, or a person who has retired from whatever, and that person has come to you for a job, and you have an opening.
In what capacity? You see, I think it's a matter of but I think it's a matter of interpretation, because what I think I understood from what the caller was saying, I don't think it's in terms of you coming in as you want to be a store clerk or some job like that. I'm talking about a job where, okay, you have this older person who's pensioned and who continues to operate in that position, but there are younger persons who are qualified who cannot move up.
I would hope that the person calls back, but that's an important point, and I heard a lot.
Right.
That a company, what I understood it to mean was, a company will have an opportunity to hire somebody, and they will invariably hire the older person who already has a couple of bucks coming in from the pension. And the poor kid who's left school and has nothing going, and you have a lot of those kids. That's what I understood she's saying.
Okay, that was not my understanding. So we would have
if that is what she's saying, I hope she calls back to clarify.
Yeah. Or she could send me a WhatsApp. I think I recognize the person's voice, and so she can always send me a WhatsApp message.
But if that's what she's saying, I want to tell you that the reason people hire, and we have to understand that, the reason companies, private sector anyway, companies hire particular people is to help them stay alive, especially these days, to help the people with work ethic, people who have skills, etc., people who want to work and not just beginning life. Because really we should have situations for young people to study, to learn particular skills and so on and so on. We let the people who are responsible for that off too easily. So what we have is a lot of kids leaving school with no relevant skills. In fact, I want to quote the Prime Minister on that. The Prime Minister said not so long ago, 73% of our workforce cannot access available jobs. In 1995, Vaughan Lewis said our workforce, most of them, were not fit for what is called menial work. And so the problem continues. So the problem is not the private sector company, especially these days, is catching raw just to stay open. You know, it is the fact that the kids don't have skills, they don't have work ethic, and so on and so on. I'm not blaming them; they haven't been taught that.
Right.
But bear in mind that the company has to survive, and it is not a school. You know, that's what I want to say actually. That the companies are having enough time staying alive,
right,
and they are not schools.
Right.
So one empathizes and sympathizes with all those young people. I mean, it's a terrible thing to be 22, 19, and you can't. You want to earn for yourself. You want to buy this. I keep on saying, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. 19, 20, 22, 23, you want the same things. You want to be able to take a girl out on a date. You want once a blue moon to go and have a little dinner at a little restaurant. You want to feel like a man. And it's those things when you know, we dismiss them. All young boys dream, but they have a specific kind of dream. Just like ladies have their specific kind of dream. I won't go into that. Okay, but the young boys have those dreams, and it is our job as the sort of elders of the society, if you like, that the people who keep the society bouncing, to keep in mind that if we don't try to fulfill and direct those ambitions, that the guys are going to, in community, rebel, not even realizing they're rebelling. And we have a problem on our hands.
True.
But I don't think that much of that blame should be placed on the pensioner, because the pensioner, in fact, is fulfilling a need in the private sector. Thank you.
But I do agree with you. I do agree with you on that, based on that interpretation. But it's like you said, so I'm asking for the young lady to call, send me a WhatsApp or call back to further expound on what she actually meant, because I think that's a very interesting topic. But as usual, Rick, thank you so much.
Let me say something very quickly before I go off. Another caller of yours you asked them what they wanted to see, and either they want to see the Prime Minister gone or that kind of stuff. You know what I'd like to? I would like to hear the caller saying, because I have my show tomorrow, that we're not going to take crap anymore,
right,
from any politician,
right.
That we're not going to take it anymore. So don't put the burden on the screw of the politician. A politician is what he is. That's what they do.
Right.
As the Geico ad says. Politicians are politicians. Politicians lie. That's what they do. Politicians mislead. That's what they do. Politicians are into expedience. That's what they do. But we can turn them into robots. You know the new thing coming, robots? We the people can turn them into robots to do what we want. We just have to get up some muscle in our heads, and to do something about it. So that in the new year, I wish more people would be taking up that attitude, especially with election time coming.
Right.
To demand from these guys exactly how you're going to do this, exactly how you're going to do that. Of course, things as they are, the politicians are allowed to interview themselves, so these things never come up. But
You know what I would like to see for the new year, though, Rick? I think you've asked, and I think I'm going to put my voice to it. I'd like to interview some of the politicians, some of the ministers, and some of the movers and shakers of this country. That's what I'd like for the new year.
I would give anything to let St. Lucia see the Prime Minister make an ass out of Rick Wayne. I would give anything for St. Lucia to see the Prime Minister make an ass out of Rick Wayne.
He just may take you up on that offer in the new year, Rick.
By coming on my show,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask him some questions and let him make a fool out of me.
Yeah.
That'd be all right with me.
I'll pray for this one for you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for calling. As usual, your contribution is invaluable. Yeah. Keep them coming, the calls coming. Let's discuss. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Yeah, I would just like to second some of the comments that Rick Wayne just made.
Such as?
We're full of schools in St. Lucia. Education is very important, but there is no place for the children to learn a trade. And it is true that education is very important, but without a trade, the workforce of the country is going nowhere. So our Prime Minister now have to invest in the people. It's not just giving the children education, and when they finish right CFT, they are home seated. Because, for example, you have a child, and you want the child to become a doctor. The child, and you don't want the child to go through all the process of secondary school. But you just want the child to focus on that particular thing. There is no place for the child to go just to focus on that particular thing.
But did you know that even as we speak, we have universal secondary school education, but we are churning out illiterates. Even in 2015, we're churning out illiterates. We have students who are in schools who are not able to cope with mainstream academia. So
Well,
we
I
have more
understand what you are
schools.
saying.
We have more
But
schools, but
the
are our
other
children
problem
being
we-
better educated?
Yeah, just give me a chance, please. I don't
for
have
sure.
much credit. I'm
Go
calling
ahead.
on a cell phone.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
other problem we have, we are talking about the Creole language. It is our language. Yes, it is our language. But the patois is mixing up the children with the English, and they cannot speak proper English.
And you think that's the fault of patois? You don't think it's
I'm not saying it is the. I am not saying it is the fault of patois. Patois should be left on the side and focus on the children, because St. Lucia, majority of people speak patois, and patois is not a recognized language worldwide. English is the main language.
Oh, but and we do make
And
a fuss
up to
over when
this
our
day-
politicians cannot speak it, right? So,
And up to this day, there are people who have high jobs and they cannot speak proper English.
food for thought.
If you listen to them, all the education, they cannot speak proper English.
So, what do you attribute to that?
Well, what I'm saying is that they want to introduce patois to the school, but I think that is a very bad thing.
So, you disagree with that? I think my uncle Kentry Japia is going to disagree vehemently with you on that. So
Because you see, the
I hope
patois,
he's listening and
when
he
the
calls
children
in on
learn
that.
the patois is broken French, because you cannot go to France and talk patois. I don't understand what you are saying.
So you're saying rather than teach us Creole in schools, we should be learning French?
French, because the children can then take up a language and say, well, I want to teach that language because I'm good at that language.
Okay.
They're not introducing Spanish, they're not introducing French. Patois. What can you go with patois?
But
in
I
school?
do think that the Governor General has
Is
been
Haiti even go with it? Not even Haiti.
I do
Not
think
even
though
Haiti
that
that can understand how.
the Governor General has made a case for introducing French in the primary school levels. So I think, you know, that there's some effort at least has been spared, or some thought has been spared towards introducing French as a second language, a mandatory second language in schools. So maybe hopefully one day we'll see that.
Well, I hope so. But my point is, I hope the Prime Minister of St. Lucia is listening to me, that we need him to invest in the people, not in the, this is our resource. When he invests in the people, it's not just telling, I build schools and education, and I build bridge and I build roads. No. We need a place for people to go and learn a trade. Not just carpentry and how to do farming. Because there are many other things children want to.
Okay, so we lost that caller. She did say she was calling from her cell phone, that her credit was limited. But thank you so much for calling, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. I hope my uncle, Dr. Kentry Japia, is listening, and that he gives us a call and gives us his viewpoint on your take on the Creole language in schools. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Good night, Laura.
Good night.
I'm calling you to congratulate you on your shows you have been holding for the past few months or year.
Thank you.
Now, what I would like to see in the new year is that we would like more jobs for the young people. And it's not only more jobs, because right now they have the STEP program, and it's just a temporary thing. Like STEP is 1 foot out and 1 foot in, 6 months in, 6 months out. So what we would like to have is permanent work for the young people. because when you check it, when they're paying the NIS, they'll pay for 6 months, and if something happens to them, the next time they can't go get the NIS money. So what we're trying to do is to make them work every day, like permanently.
Right. So we don't want temporary jobs, and that's what STEP is, short-term employment program. So
Yeah.
the name says it all. So what we want, instead of we want to abolish short-term employment program, STEP, and introduce some sort of permanency in the employment situation that would help bring down the unemployment rate.
Okay. And
Right.
secondly, what I would like is that health system. It is not good at all, because when you go to the health centers, you have to go very early to see a doctor. And there is never medication for the people. The economical problem is so bad these days. People cannot afford to pay medication. So if you have to go to private doctors, you'll have more money to pay and go to drugstores and things. So when we go to the health centers, we can get the medication cheaper. So we'd like to upgrade the health sector a little higher.
Okay.
And I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
And wish me happy birthday. It's my birthday as well.
Oh, okay, but you didn't say when yet. You only said you will tell us, but you didn't say it was your birthday.
I won't be on air on my birthday, so
Okay.
I'm giving you a hint. It's in 2 weeks and 1 day.
Yeah,
So-
I heard that, but I didn't.
So if you check your calendar, you'll figure it
Okay.
out. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Advance birthday greetings.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and have a good one. Blessings and season's greetings to you and your family and loved ones as well.
Okay.
Thank
all
you.
right. Good night.
Good night. And this is what we're talking. The running theme is healthcare, education, jobs for the young people in particular. You know, how we can to do that. How can we do that? Crime. We want to see crime down. And I'm trying to listen to everybody, and I'm having an interesting debate going on WhatsApp as to some of the things that the people are saying. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
I would just like to make it this briefly. Yeah, it would be nice in the new year that people in Castries would be walking without jumping dogmas all about in Castries.
I beg your pardon, say that again?
People would be walking in Castries peacefully, stop jumping dog mess all over Castries.
Ah, okay. So you want to see a cleaner city with
Yes.
less stray dogs and less dog do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, welcome.
Right. Thank you. So we want to have a cleaner city. And I'm jotting those things down, yeah? I'm jotting them down. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening.
I had a conversation about jobs for the youth and the youth being marginalized in so many ways. But I think we need to stop preaching this, and we need to move in that direction where we could motivate young people to get themselves trained. Because I am almost certain that there are opportunities available, but the youth, they're not prepared. They are not suited to take advantage of those opportunities.
What are the opportunities that you're talking about? And I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for the viewers who are listening, who can get the line, so that they can work on it in the new year. What are some of the opportunities that are out there that our young people can pursue?
I know two circumstances. For example, the Belfond program, you have persons who go through the application process, but when it comes to training, to acquire the skills, to manage the business, they kind of draw back. They lose interest.
So you're saying that we have an aversion to entrepreneurship?
Yes, that is so true. I mean, in many respects, that in itself is another dimension in its entirety. Also, there is a CASIP program.
The who program?
CASIP.
Can you spell that?
I think it's CARCIP. It is some ICT training in collaboration with the government. It's
Right.
free certification for young person unemployed. But I mean, this has been posted on many areas, many platforms, and persons are refusing to take advantage of those opportunities. We have a National Youth Council. How much do they work to prepare the mindset of the young persons to take advantage of those opportunities?
I think the National Youth Council, I can't speak with all honesty, and I'm making a note right now, NYC, to engage them in the new year. That's going to be a show that I'm going to have to do, engaging them so that they can tell us what are some of the things. Because you're right. I mean, NYC should be in a position to be a bridge between the young people and opportunities that are out there.
I think that should be a strategic imperative for them. I mean, you see, the other place that we have to go, you see, no institution like government. Government traditionally has been, I mean, in for a large part, the largest employer.
And we really want to reduce that, We want to bring down the wage bill.
Because of the economic situation.
Not just because of this economic situation. Just period, government should not necessarily be an employer or a maker of jobs or an employer. They should be creating opportunities so that business can thrive. So you have a more booming private sector as opposed to a more a large public sector.
And that is the reality, is that there is a paradigm shift against from that, away from that status of government being the primary employer. Entrepreneurship, we need to promote that. You know, to put it simply, you know, you start something very small, and our mentality is Gasai Cafe, Kitita Valley of Gasai Cafe. Why are you doing that? But they don't realize if you have the mindset and you have the training, and like you said, the opportunities are there, you must start somewhere. And if there is a handheld to help you walk through the process, you will get it. If you look at this country, for example, most of the people who have been successful in many regards are those who have been very entrepreneurial. And put those people in any economy, they will survive. Because they have the skill, they have the mindset, and they have the training that creates the foundation for their growth.
Okay. But you see, I think, I like some of the things that you're saying. I just think that, and especially the last thing you said about when these people, they leave their jobs, the 9 to 5, and they're going to do something else that they love or that they have a penchant for, and people are asking them, why you do that? But they must realize that they've just created an opportunity for somebody else to get a job. And for that person to create jobs.
So that's 2 jobs created.
Right. There's 2 jobs with the potential for more, because this entrepreneur eventually will not be able to do it all on his own. And he will need apprentices or interns or assistants, you know, and there will be more jobs. So I like that.
We have to work, I mean, to terminate that dependency syndrome. We need
definitely dependency.
Unless we do that, and it starts with the home, it expands to the primary school institutions, the secondary, all throughout the education system, and that has to be emphasized by the political directorate.
Creating the avenues, the opportunities, you know, the environment for entrepreneurship to grow and to thrive.
I think that should be the role of government.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Absolutely. Not so that we have a bloated civil service, but that we have an efficient and effective one.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your contribution. You have yourself a wonderful Christmas season, and blessings to you and your family and loved ones. Thank you. Yes, and I like suggestions like that. It's not just about the belly aching. So maybe I should do more shows like that in the new year. What do you think? You know, creating the opportunities for you to give us suggestions, and hopefully the powers that be, the authorities, will be listening to you. It's not about me or any personality. It's about you and your thoughts and your ideas. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air? Hello? Okay, we lost that call. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Yes, Bishop here. Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, it's me again. I'm just calling. I called earlier on about the pensioners. I do not have a problem with pensioners working because, as you said, there are some of them that's what's keeping them going.
Right.
But there are some instances where there are pensioners working in office doing reception, whereas, you know, that can be a job for a younger person. You understand?
Yes, I understand. But do you accept, though, that there may not be... And honestly, I know so many young people who could do the job of a receptionist who are not working right now. So it's a little bothersome for me. Maybe they're not knowing of the job opportunities that are out there. But when you have... I remember listening to... one of the businessmen prominent businessmen in St. Lucia talking about the attitude of young people. And sometimes, you know, I blame the employers. I do. Because a lot of the times they do not want to pay a living wage. So they will employ somebody who, at first glance, or at the first, I don't want to say at first glance because that's judgmental, but by hearing that person speak in an interview, you know that that person will not be able to answer the phones and to give off information, but yet still, because that person will work for $500, rather than employ the other person for $1,500, you will go for the $500 because you feel like you're saving $1,000. But how much more are it's costing your company every time that staff who you paying $500 makes a gaffe or he makes a mistake.
Right. And I think the caller said something about too. I think in a nutshell, maybe the experience, maybe they want people who has more knowledge. I remember when I first started working and I went in for the interview, the first thing the boss told to me, he asked whether I have experience. And I said, no, this is my the first time, that's my first interview. So he said, well, if I have to send you home and said, well, I'm looking for somebody with experience, where will you get experience? You have to start somewhere. So then he said, okay, go home and come back tomorrow. And I mean, I have 20 years experience now because he started me somewhere. You understand? So
but you must acknowledge, though, that he must have seen something in you. You know, you may have presented yourself well and articulated your desires and what you brought to the table. So he saw something in you. And I think more employers need to do that rather than say, oh, you're overqualified or you don't have enough experience. But what are the avenues? Because that could be a gem that you're just thrusting away.
And another thing too, they can have these same people train the younger people, because if you have somebody who's getting ready for retirement, have a younger person come in to at least grasp some knowledge, grasp something from that person.
Or somebody who's already there. Somebody who's already working with the company.
Right. But again, I do not have a problem with a pensioner if they want to volunteer, or if, you know, the younger people don't want to do it and they get the job and it's them that have to do it, fine, all good and well. But we still need to train our younger people and get them involved. Now, I heard a gentleman talk about the Bell Fund and these things. Yes, there are these opportunities, but not everybody know about it. I only got to know about it a few years ago because I had to be I had to be a co-signer for somebody. That is why I got to know about the Bell Fund and you know, knowing that they're helping people who want. So a lot of the young people out there do not know of the opportunities that are there, especially down in the south. I mean, in the area that I am from, too. There are a lot of idle young people, and some of them do not know. How do they get to know about these things if they don't come to the community? They don't. You understand what I'm telling you? So they need to be more exposed to these things, and they need knowledge so that they can know where to go, where next. There are children, there are youth, they come from homes, they do not know, they don't have somebody to guide them, they don't have somebody to push them forward. So if there's somebody that will come from the different places like Belfond, have a little workshop, have something in the communities to educate them and let them know about these things. You understand?
So we need, these entities need to do a lot more PR. It's not just once in a month where they're commemorating something that pertains to them, but constant, ongoing PR.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go to the different communities, the outskirts outskirts. You know, everything is in one area, Castries. You know, they focus on Castries but what about those other rural places? What about the other, you understand? So, yeah.
Thank you so much for calling back, and I hope Rick is listening and heard your explanation, and that you're not just, making a blanket statement.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much for calling back.
All right, yeah.
And this is some of the shows things that we like. We like to hear what your thoughts are. What is affecting you? What would you like to see? It's only these types of shows are supposed to be platforms for you to air your grievances and what you would like to see. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air. We lost that call. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so this is your platform to articulate, and we're hoping that the authorities are listening. We have another call in line. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Hi, Laura.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thanks. How are you?
I'm fine.
Wonderful.
I enjoy your show throughout the season.
Thank you.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Greetings. But next year, do me a favor.
Let's hear it.
I need you to bring the Labor Commission now on your show, because we, the employees, we have a lot of questions because the employers doing what they want of us. Okay? You work, they fire you, they don't want to give you your severance, they don't want to give you your 2 weeks notice, they don't want, they just give you your plain salary.
Right.
And they will say they don't owe you. And that's a lot of nonsense. And I find you go up and down in labor department and they do nothing. You know, you up and down, and they do nothing. And these employees just go scotch-free for your money. Now, let me tell you that. You see, once you bring that up, you'll know the amount of people that will call, because a lot of people are victims of that these days. They don't want to pay. When they fire people, they don't want to pay. And even there's a particular company that workers are paying 4 months, 5 months, they can't get their money.
Okay,
you
but
understand? So
definitely,
do me that favor when you put that one on your list.
Absolutely.
In 2016.
Absolutely.
We need answers from the Labor Commissioner.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I will work on that. That's a promise.
Thank you, my girl, and enjoy your vacation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And definitely, and I think a lot of the times, though, with the labor these disputes, I think a lot has to do with the labor code, and a lot has to do with the fact that we do not understand our rights as employees and what the rights of the employers are. And sometimes it's just a technical thing. So certainly I will bring this up. This is a show that we're going to have in the new year. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
Blessed night.
Good night.
Yeah, what I have to voice out this night, I can remember my community representative, Honorable Robert Lewis, promised that he would have built a bridge for me down in the Labatt area, you know. And soon as his government come in power, his government is in power up to now, they haven't got any bridge.
And that's in the Labatt area?
Yeah, Latok, yeah.
Oh, Latok area.
Yeah, Latok, Labatt. Labatt is the name of the little community within Latok.
I did not know. Okay.
And what happened, I remember a day, me, my mother, and my 2 weeks was crossing that river, that bridge. And the bridge came beneath us and we fall. My little boy was a baby still. I had to rush him to hospital. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Up to this very day, so I wondering, like...
So how do you cross? How do you get across?
Well, right now, you remember the last time we had a big shower? Well, the bridge gone. We had cut a coconut tree to put across the river.
Oh, that was your bridge?
Yeah,
was the coconut
it's gone.
Bridge?
So right now, only one coconut, like, stem is across the river. Right now, it's gone along in the river. So right now, we have to pass in the river to get out.
So if the river is swollen?
Well, we have to wait until it goes down.
So you can't go to work, you can't go to school, you can't go anywhere?
Exactly. So I wondering, like, I mean, empty promises is something we have to try and delete right now. Because right now, when we go out there in the polling box and we put the X, which is wrong, in the first place, it's R we deal with, not X. Because you go to school, we're supposed to know what X rebellion. Wrong, is it? I mean, them supposed to come and at least, you give your word, stick to your word. That's why I always say in politics that are a bunch of liars, deceivers, because, I mean, you're not real. Be real. I mean, if you get to you can get the people them attention, at least whatever you utter out your mouth, let's come to reality, you know, because that's why the scripture says, let our mouth, meditation our heart be acceptable in thy sight. So we have to let the word stick. Now, and touching on the VAT now, in the VAT, STEP program.
STEP.
Yeah, I every time I watch that STEP program, I have a bunch of gimmicks things. Because every time a STEP program come about, that's the very same time they have Christmas, New Year's,
But
school.
of
So like,
course.
I give you the money. It's like, remember, it's currency. It's flew for one, the left hand, and it's out.
It's to spend, yes.
So I see, remember, in the city time, they're spending that money there for step program, just cutting grass by the way. It's true. I mean, they have to keep doing that, cutting grass, but not a step program. That should be like something where you can city council or give some people in the community a job whenever the trees start growing tall, they put it down. But don't call it step. But step itself don't make sense. I mean, give people full-time employment. That's temporary employment. That don't make no sense.
Absolutely.
So right now we need work in Ireland. That's why if you check it, the unemployment rate is high. A lot of young youths out of a job. Imagine I'm a qualified painter. Enough times, the man have a cellular phone. The only time it ring or I get a text is when this is a 71, and you know what I mean? Or take a chance. Because it don't ring, no one calling. Check right, you know, now, with high time the government come to reality and start checking for the poor and have not, you know?
But
because
you know
they are the one that put you all in power, you know, they all put us in power. We are the power. Now, if the people only could have known that, because St. Lucian people are sleeping. But I feel one day they'll wake up, you know. I don't know if it's going the back is in the wall, not against the wall, it's in the wall, you know, they will check themselves.
I hope
Is
so.
it? So we need to take a stand right now because a lot of things going on this island. Unemployment rate is skyrocket. A lot of jobs, children live in school, can't even get a job. Like some callers said earlier on. I mean, after school, what next?
What next?
Either the crime, they don't want cocaine, marijuana, something really good. I mean, everybody has eaten, dress, and sleep. So they have to find some way of means, you know, to take care of it. And I so high time, the government, whether the UWP in power, or the SLP in power, NPA in power, whichever one that get to in power, check for the poor and have not. You get? Check for those.
Absolutely. But you know what? I the one comfort I can give to you as it relates to the bridge, and I hope Robert Lewis is listening, or at least somebody from infrastructure
I know
is
right
listening.
now we have an iron lady who will be representing around here, so Miss Miriam. Her name Isaac.
Mary
So
Isaac.
I hope she's listening, or Mr. Honorable Robert Lewis is listening.
I hope
because
so.
I'm a Rasta. I know the bias, but I know.
Hello? Okay, I think we lost the call.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, okay. Hello? Okay, so we lost the call eventually. But I was just going to tell him that elections is in the air, and I'm noticing a lot of works being done. Some really asinine. I have to give you an example of an asinine work that is being done in the Saltibus area, you know? But hopefully your situation will be remedied soon because elections is in the air and they're spending money. But can you imagine, Saltibus has got to have the worst, from the PI Gap all the way up to Saltibus proper. That road has got to be the most deplorable one on island. So they're patching the road now, right? They're patching the road. So this is how they're patching the road. The potholes that are in the road that are as deep as craters, they're further deepening it. And they're, for some reason, I guess, I'm not a contractor, I don't know. They're making it square. I guess it's easier to fix. So they're deepening the hole. In some cases, they're widening the hole. They're deepening the hole so big that if you make a mistake and your vehicle goes down in there, you think, oh my gosh, my chassis bend. And then they go up the road. They go up, and they keep widening those potholes and deepening them. And then they go back, and then they start patching it. At the end of the day, you have maybe about 36 of these potholes, but they've only done 12 for the day. Fixed up 12. I cannot understand what the motive for that is. If you can only do 12 at a time, deepen and widen and prepare only 12. We have another call online. Thank you for calling Newsmaker Live with Laura. You're on the air.
I am Lady Laura.
Hi.
I heard I'm your final caller.
Yes, you are.
I'm just calling to wish you Merry Christmas.
Thank you. And a happy birthday. And happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I hope I can come and get some cake sometime.
Well, if you can find me.
Yes, I can. No, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Continue doing what you're doing, especially the work with the youth, though.
Thank you. This is Cyril.
Who?
Is it Cyril?
This is not a show where we actually say, name this tune or name this person.
I wanted to talk to you about the prayer, but anyway.
Continue. No, that is me, yes. That's me.
Yes, that prayer, man, that prayer. I'm like, that's all the prayer? That's all the I was disappointed in the prayer. I just wanted to say to you, I was disappointed in the prayer. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Let me answer that to you. I am moved by the Spirit, and he is in control of that. I will never put my Christ in disrepute.
Right, okay. So the words came from him.
Yes. I would never. I would never put my God in disrepute by discussing prayer and stuff like that and open thing. I mean, your opinion, yours. I prayed fine, but what I did call to tell you tonight is a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Continue what you're doing. I'm very proud of the work you do with kids in your community and changing lives and stuff like that. The way you promote women. Continue doing what you're doing. On the political level, that's for another show.
We promise. We're going to have that conversation. I'm going to invite you to come over to the show and we can, rap about that.
Oh, but since you brought it up, let me just say, International Volunteer passed last week, Saturday. I know it's belated, but, let me just congratulate
That was really low-key, though.
No, it was not. We had a lot of activities, but it's just that we did not publicize them. We were in Kozel. We started the renovation of a library.
Okay.
We did the Ansley I Believe in Volunteering group did some work. The Viewfort volunteers were out in the square assisting the Leos, all the Lions, I think, with the health thing.
Okay.
We did a lot, but we did it from our heart, and we looked at it as a day of reflection.
Okay.
Not a day where we should promote ourselves, but where we should rest.
But it's important, though, Cyril, because at the end of the day, people need to know these things, and they need to know that volunteers are not just volunteers in name, and it's not just about when you have jazz and then you come. It's not about the glamorous things. It's about nitty-gritty things. So I think I'm going to extend an invitation to you for next year.
Yes, but what I can do, Laura, is to actually add you to one of our buzz groups. There's a lot happening, but I must admit, maybe we're not getting all the publicity or we're not pushing it, but there's a lot going on. If you're attached to one of our WhatsApp groups, there's a lot going on every day.
Give me a number again, Cyril.
My number is 484-3244.
484-3244.
3244.
Okay, I'll give you a call.
And just don't call me when you want to come on the show, huh?
We'll wrap. I'll make use of the number. Thank you, Cyril.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. And that was our last call for the evening. But Junior, permit me, I absolutely need to thank a bunch of people. And I know we've gone over the time, so I won't get everybody in. But there are a few people that I absolutely must thank. I have made so many friends and connected with so many people starting this program and doing this show. I want to thank you all, my detractors as well as my supporters and fans. I want to thank you. You keep me going. I have a cousin who listens all the way from New York, and he gives me, one day he called me and he gave me such a profound upliftment, and I needed that at the time, and I want to thank you so much, Bud, for doing that. You are the best. You're the bomb. I want to thank the staff at Massey Distribution. You guys made me feel like a family. You guys embraced me. I want to thank you. I know you continue to watch. The staff at Forest Springs, the best water out, and that's a plug you're going to have to pay me for. Thank you guys so much. I know you're watching every night, and you call sometimes. Even tonight you did call. I want to thank you so much for embracing me and making me a part of your family. I want to thank Gasper. I think his name is Gasper. That's the guy who sells the granola bars. You call most of the times and you encourage me. Thank you so much. There's this girl, I think, from Sufra. She calls sometimes and she gives me flack, but hey, I love it. Thank you for calling. I haven't heard you in a little while, but thank you so much for calling. I want to thank Rick. Rick, I want to thank you for encouraging me to take the bold step of doing this. And you know your support and your advice is so invaluable. I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I know you must be a little embarrassed by all of this, but thank you so much. I have two special friends that I want to thank in a very, very big way. I want to thank Aaron McDoom, one of the very first persons who said hello to me and great job, and we've maintained a friendship throughout. Thank you so much, Emran. You're the best. You're the bomb. Thank you so much. I want to thank Daniela and her mom, Hyacinth. You guys are great. I know I haven't connected with you in a little while. Thank you so much for your support and for being there. And last but not least, I want to thank you, Roya, for watching even when you're at work. My very, very special friend. Thank you so much. And this has been our last episode of Newsmaker Live with Laura for the year. I want to thank you all, those I've mentioned as well as those I haven't. And I will see you in the new year. Mwah. Bye-bye. Oh, my junior choir. Guys, thank you. I know some of you are watching. My nieces and nephew, thank you so much. My parents, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers-in-law, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. See you next year. Bye-bye. Oh, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas. And Junior, thank you so much for being there and the support and the love. And Linda, thank you so much for taking a chance on me. It's working out beautifully, I think. So thank you guys very much, and Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. Have a good one. And a Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye-bye.